Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Weeb Weekly. We are coming to you a little bit late, but hey, life comes out of us all pretty fast, and we try to
Big
adjust. So here we
facts.
are. Hello, I am followed. I'm followed. I am joined by Tropical Joe Jose coming out of Austin. How are we doing, buddy?
Doing good, doing good. Kind of tired, lots of news, but we're doing good.
We are thriving. We got Mizu wearing rings, all 10 of them.
Here's the
All
thing.
10
So
rings.
that is my former name. I am a new man. I am
Yep.
the six ringed man.
The
Okay.
six ring man. Hey, he's
Let's just
60% of the
say
Mandarin.
Shang-Chi has inspired me to don a new mantle in my life.
Okay. Let's go. And ladies and gentlemen, that is what today's episode is more or less going to be about. We have a monumental event. Probably the best Marvel movie I'd say, since Endgame, if we're being real. I was infatuated with this movie, and yes, of course, we are talking about Shang-Chi in the Legend of the Ten Rings. Oh my goodness. I went with my girlfriend, who was born in Guangzhou, China, and she adored it. And it was kind of cool because, like, obviously, like, I to me, it's just a dope movie, you know. But to people of Chinese descent and American-born Chinese and just Chinese-born Chinese, this is the budding of a new superhero genre. You know, it's bringing in an entire community into a superhero verse, and she loved it so much. Half of the movie was in Mandarin. She was like, they are gonna fucking eat this up in China, and I was like, you're probably right, and that's probably why they made it. What'd you guys do? How'd you guys like it?
It is exactly what I expected it to be. I'm so
Mhm.
happy that it shattered all expectations and put people in their place, because a lot of people were saying, "Oh my god, nobody's going to see Shang-Chi. It's going to suck." And I'm like, "Bro, this
Yep.
movie is probably the best movie. It's the top it's in the top 3 for superhero introductions
Yeah.
in Marvel. I think in my opinion it might be Iron Man 1, Black Panther 2, because technically we didn't really get that much in Civil War.
Yeah.
And sorry, not in Civil War, Winter Soldier. So I would go Iron Man, Black Panther, and this. So it is definitely a must
I
watch.
like that.
Yeah, it is definitely a must watch. It has a compelling story with a
Yep.
villain that's complex, right? Just like we want our villains in the MCU, it's a complex villain because it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, but at the same time, shit, like he went through so much. We'll cover the spoilery information a little bit later, but
Hmm.
to me, it's like as close as you can get to a 10. I did
Oh
feel
yeah.
like at one point during the point where they were like training in Talo, there were some areas that would like it kind of like slowed down near that, like almost the climax. I don't know if
In
that's
terms of pacing or in
yeah,
terms of like
pacing,
slow
pacing,
motion?
pacing, pacing, pacing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
terms of pacing near the Talo area where they're like the dad is like, when Wu is trying to get to the mystical lands, and they're like trying to get out of
Hmm.
the safe house and get to the mystical land. So like that area, the pacing was a little bit weird. So I would say like 9.5 out of 10. How about you, Mizu?
Yeah.
I will say this. I already had high expectations for this film,
Yes.
and it delivered. I loved every
So hard.
second of this because one, before I even got into anime as a kid, I watched martial arts films.
Mm-hmm.
All
Hmm.
the classics: Jackie Chan, Donnie Yen,
Yep.
Jet Li. Basically, overall, I actually grew up watching a lot of Chinese films,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
not just in terms of martial arts, but so
You ever seen Kung
seeing
Fu
them.
Soccer?
What?
You seen Kung Fu Soccer?
Yes, Kung Fu Soccer, Kung
It's
Fu
my girlfriend's
Hustle.
favorite movie of all time. She loves it.
Lord. But overall, I thought that how they incorporated all that type of culture, basically Hong Kong Chinese cinema
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
in
Yep.
this film was amazing. I love how it felt like, that mystical wushu Chinese film, like when the certain
Yeah.
scenes that they're flying, they're gracefully flying across the room and the
Yep.
elements and things of that nature. And I definitely agree with to me, honestly, I'm actually going to edge out just a tad bit and say that to me, this is the best origin story for a character.
I like
Okay.
it.
Then I would say Black Panther. And mind you guys,
And then
I am
Iron
a
Man.
Black Panther fanboy,
Hmm.
but I would have to say that this is a better origin story than Black Panther. and then the rest will
Honestly,
follow suit.
Fair.
And so
Yeah.
far, this is the best Phase 4 film, in my opinion.
not even close. Not even close. I agree with you. Here's the thing: Black Panther was incredible, and what it accomplished was monumental. But at the end of the day, the villain was kind of weak. The story was compelling, and Killmonger's a cool villain. But it's just like if for what it was accomplishing was almost more important than the story itself. Shang-Chi was a well-defined, well choreographed, well-paced, like very good movie. It had all the subtle, like it had a lot of like jokes meant for Chinese audiences, like when they pull up to Shang-Chi's sisters fighting complex and his what's her name, Katie doesn't speak Chinese, and Ronnie Chang goes, "I speak ABC, American born Chinese." Everyone in the theater laughed. A bunch of moments where it was like, okay, we're doing like this was obviously very clearly like Asian wrote, Asian produced, all these things. And it had those fundamental kind of like old schoolian like kung fu moments, like where people like float with their kicks. And those slow motion like when Sun Wu, Shang-Chi's dad, or Sen
Wenwu?
Wan, Shenwu, yeah.
Wenwu.
And
Wenwu.
Wenwu, yes.
Is the dad.
And his mother are like fighting, but they're dancing. Like it was beautifully choreographed. I'm sure you guys have seen the TikTok of the guy who trains the guy who did all the choreographing for the stuff, but he was really stoked on it. So no, I loved it. I was super excited, and I'm with you. I'm with you. I think it is the best intro movie of all time. I think the only movies that I can definitively point at from Marvel that are better than that start with Avengers, and that doesn't include Ultron.
Ooh.
Maybe, like I don't even know. Actually, no. I can't think of a better Marvel movie outside of the Avengers. How about you, Jose? What's the one movie that like is closest to in rank for you?
I actually just finished a draft of like my top 10 movies in
Okay.
Marvel. I have Infinity War number 1,
Okay, that's fair.
Endgame number 2. I have Civil War number 3.
Interesting.
Yes. Iron
Okay.
Man 4, because of what it was for me. Like for me, like this is my favorite, not what I think is the best, but these are my favorite.
Yeah.
Number 4, Iron Man. Number 5, Winter Soldier. Number 6, Black Panther. And then we have Shang-Chi. And then number 7. Sorry, no, yeah.
7 would be
8,
Shang-Chi.
Yeah, 8 Ragnarok, 9 Guardians, 10 Spider-Man Homecoming.
I
Those
like
are my
that.
top 10. And
It's
that
much more
includes
definitive list than I
the
have.
yeah, that's the, and it changes every once in a while. Like I just watch a movie and I'm like, bro, this movie is like hella underrated. But I think like those 10 movies encapsulate everything that the MCU is, both from humor to characters to action. The thing is, I saw the Winter Soldier
Yeah.
as like a definitive moment. It was honestly like a Civil War 1.0, because like it had so many Avengers too, but like
Yeah, that's
it
fair.
was so character driven that I haven't seen anything like that surpass it in terms of like a character study movie within Marvel. Within Marvel at least. Obviously like DC has its own things and other franchises do. But yeah, this movie is definitely a top 10. It's definitely a top 3 for solo movies. And I'm excited because Simu Liu, that man took on literally the CEO of Disney. Like he literally said like to Bob Chapek, "No, bro,
Yeah.
we're not an experiment. We're gonna freaking kill it."
And he's not going anywhere either.
They broke the Labor Day box office record for
Did
viewership,
they?
man. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
What do we know how much money they made in the box office?
It was estimated 45 to 60, something like that. Is she? Okay, let me see.
It's past that now, I believe.
Okay, yeah.
Labor Day
The
weekend
70s,
records with
80s.
$94 million. It's a lot of money.
In 3 days.
It's a lot
bro.
of
Three
so my
days.
question then becomes: does Shang-Chi prove that all the other movies that came out this year just weren't that good? Right? Like that movie succeeded, right? In the box office. Black Widow didn't succeed. What else flopped? What else came
Suicide
out that
Squad.
Suicide Squad. Okay, that never mind. I take back my point. immediately.
That's an issue because that
But,
was
like-
that was the best DC movie outside of like the Joker and then the Dark Knight trilogy
And the
then
director cuts.
and the director cut. But and if, I mean, financially it didn't do well. I mean, but like think about it, Shang-Chi, and I think Soups summarized this best. It saved movies this year because
Oh, yeah.
we think about it this way. We had 3 delays for Venom.
Yep.
Venom was supposed to take Mobius's spot in January 2022, and it got pushed up to October 1st. We're getting Venom in less than a month because of Shang-Chi. We're getting Eternals staying in the same slot, and we're possibly gonna keep getting Spider-Man in December because of Shang-Chi. Like it's such a trailblazing what's it called when you do, it's like a
Pioneering?
statement. It's a statement movie. It's a statement movie. That's what I would call it. It's a statement movie.
For sure. And that's only domestic box office, right? I mean, we haven't even seen what's rolling in from China at this point, right?
That's gonna kill over there.
Yeah. Like, I mean, China kept Transformers alive.
Yeah. They did.
So what are they gonna do with Shang-Chi? I mean,
Fast and
like
Furious.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Does it do well
Here's
over
the
there?
thing. Here's the thing that people don't get anymore. Is that it's really not about us anymore. We could keep making movies, but what keeps a movie alive is overseas, specifically China. If China likes it, then it's a good movie.
So
now, I'm not gonna lie to the point where I was actually surprised that China
Oh, we lost them. We lost
likes
them.
Black Panther. I was like,
okay,
what?
Oh, we lost you there for a second.
We lost you for a second, but you said China likes Black Panther. You were surprised?
You were surprised that they liked it?
Yeah, I was surprised. I was surprised that China liked Black Panther. So I thought it was going to like flop in China. Like, okay, that's not going to do very well in China at all. But no, it's to this day, it's actually the only MCU film, or it's the still highest grossing MCU film still. Over $1 billion.
Yeah, no, I think it did more than Endgame. I think it did.
Here's the thing, which I thought Endgame was going to beat it, but apparently still not. It's still
just crazy. Highest ever pre-sales too for a movie was Black Panther. So my thing is though, and it centers on this talking point though, is that so Shang-Chi's obviously going to be massive in China. My girlfriend said it to me. She's like, they're gonna fucking love this. They're gonna eat it up. So my thing is, do you think like now Disney's doing like inclusion by what the market, like the box office sales are going to be? Like Black Panther, like, hey, how about we incorporate, what is it, like 25% of the American population, tell them a story that isn't about like black suffering, like give them a rallying point. There we go. Now we get pre-sales. And now what's another thing that's a massive grouping that's going to be Chinese off like international sales and box office? Do you think that it all motivates what inclusion they're working towards?
Funny enough that you mentioned that. I was just reading a bunch of articles, and there's a person who
we lost them again,
who studied all the Marvel films and was looking at it and seeing how, in terms of like all different angles, from how people felt about it, like audiences, money, and all that jazz. And he said that it would be crazy if they didn't be more inclusive, because it's the inclusivity and diversity that's actually getting them this money. As you said with Black Panther had the most pre-sales, and even audiences loved it. And to the point they did a recent poll, and they said that more audiences want to see more.
No, and it makes sense, because like obviously everybody wants to feel represented. Like I said, like I was watching Shang-Chi and I was like, this is incredible, but like it didn't mean nearly as much to me as it would an American-born Chinese person or just anyone who with Chinese ancestry, like ancestry is the word. There we go. I mean, what do you think, Joe?
I'm thinking about it because like the issue, right? Unfortunately, in the United States of America, the only thing that rules is the almighty dollar. right?
So you could say it's more places in the U.S. Honestly.
Yeah, but I mean in terms of entertainment, what rules is how much money things make, right? Because like these are studios that put a lot of assets and money behind this, and they expect a positive return, right? That's what I meant by that. And so when you have and I'll use Bob Chapek's quote right here, an experimental movie where you have like a lot of dialogue in Chinese, which surprised me at the beginning. Like when it started in I think it's is it Mandarin?
I think it's
it
I
was
said
Mandarin.
Cantonese
or Mandarin. Okay, yeah. So they literally started with the native tongue, and I was like, oh, did I get it? First of all, did I get into the right theater? Because that's obviously some movies are
You thought it was in Chinese dub?
Yeah, because like for example in Puerto Rico they have that. So like there's some movies that are like dubbed in Spanish and then the subtitles are in English. And then for example, even when we get anime movies, there's 3. So like there's English dub, there's Spanish dub, and then there's Japanese dub. So it's like, what the fuck? So I got into the movie and I was like, oh, did I get into the right one? And I was like, wow, they're actually they're going all in on the expansion of and exploration of Chinese culture, language, mythology. All of that is being covered in a great way, and it could have flopped. So the idea is what this is a roundabout way of saying that Disney specifically has to embrace diversity because of the characters that they're introducing now. Because of the character. So for example, America Chavez, if they want to get into Miles Morales, especially if they want to get into the X-Men, like you're going into and then you're going into the territory of aliens. What do aliens look like? I don't like nobody has seen an alien. So like you can
so it can look like whatever the fuck you want.
You can use those opportunities to tell diverse stories and actually make an impact both socially and commercially. So I would say it is predicated a little bit on box office success, but it doesn't have to.
My thing is, so apparently it is Mandarin and not Cantonese.
Okay.
But actually, did you guys know it hasn't been approved for release in China yet?
Because of its handling of the culture, the language, the mythology.
I don't know. It's just Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings makes up for flaws in Mulan. It's a Guardian article, and it still hasn't been approved for release in China. I don't know. Maybe it's just because China's not doing theaters right now. That's a possibility.
Either that, or they're like really strict on which movies can be shown because they don't want it to like be like U.S. like a capitalist propaganda or something like that. Like, I mean,
I'll say that it is similar to that, but I'll say that they're actually not as like they're strict, but not as strict as you think. Like it's certain subjects that they don't like. Like honestly, it's one of the main reasons why everybody was upset at first when the Ancient One was played by this white woman. Everybody's just like, why did they do this? Like that's not how the character is. Well, one of the main reasons they did that is because the original character of the Ancient One is played by like a Tibetan monk, and China has a very sordid history with Tibet.
Yep.
And so they changed it to a Celtic woman instead of this Tibetan man. So that's one of the main reasons why the Ancient One is a white woman.
Wow, I did not know that. That is a nice peek behind the curtain. And no, so I mean, I'm sure it eventually will be released. It was incredible, and they deserve to see it as much as anyone. They will absolutely eat that shit up, and I think it does a lot for Chinese culture in terms of showing the duality of like I think it does a good job, and this is something that my girlfriend struggles with, of showing the duality of like ABC culture, American born Chinese. And how you can come across that you're not Chinese enough or you're not American enough. And I'm sure Jose, as a Puerto Rican American, you can probably speak to these kinds of things. It's your Spanish isn't as good as it would be if you were in Puerto Rico, but your English isn't as good as you were if you were only in America, that kind of thing. I think they did a really good job with that, and I think it was a rare opportunity in terms of including a group of people that's massive, and they did a really good job with it.
I agree. It is. I think another thing that has to be praised is the style. The style, bro. The core, like, and specifically the fight, bro.
Like the first 7 minutes of Mortal Kombat.
Exactly. And on one thing that I wanted to mention that is really cool is the fact that even the shows have taken these artistic styles and kind of merged them into their own thing. The first thing that came to my mind, I'm not sure if I'm pretty sure Mizu's seen this. I don't know if you have seen this, Nick. Have you seen the movie Old Boy?
Oh yeah.
Okay, bro. That corridor scene is widely regarded as one of the best action set pieces just ever.
Only one shot.
Only one shot. It's a hallway scene, no shaky cam. It's full visibility. Everybody, like, you see like the background people like kind of prepping their attacks, but it's not like, for example, in The Last Jedi where somebody's just like literally fighting themselves and offing themselves in the
and then one of their daggers disappears from their hand in
so like
post-credits.
this is one of the best set and acted and choreographed set pieces of all time, and I saw heavy influences of that style both in Shang-Chi and in Daredevil. I remember a moment in Daredevil where he's going through literally a hallway scene. I'm like, oh, this is Old Boy, bro. This is straight up Old Boy.
It was like, not to honor that, it was based off that scene. That scene from season 2, was it?
And then the Raid also. The Raid is also a big one.
They had the same choreographer. Raid is also both of the Raid movies are incredible.
Yeah.
But actually, since we are talking about it, our stack 'em up for this week is best martial arts movie of all time. Since we are talking what was an incredible installment into the martial arts sphere, Shang-Chi was fantastic, well choreographed, all of that. We are going to be chatting about what is our favorite martial arts movie of all time. And as last week's victor, thank you very much.
I was gonna give you the little clap.
Pandering always works, ladies and gentlemen.
Let me see the final tally.
Okay, pull it up.
Because I wanna.
I got a question for you while you pull that up, though. Are we doing, let's say hypothetically, an entire series, or are we choosing individual movies from series? Because martial arts movies have a habit of going on for many episodes, like many movies.
I would say a single installment would be the best.
I was really hoping we were doing series here.
Because I mean, you could do we could do series. It's up to you. I mean, I would say it's more important. Like, well, not more important, but like I don't know. I just feel like there's certain movies that like caught my eye when we first thought of that.
Okay.
I mean, I'm down for either one because I already know which one I'm picking.
Oh shit!
You better hope it's still there. That's the thing. I
already got 4. Just in case you pick one of them, I got 4 more.
Okay, so we got.
He's ready.
Like I said in the beginning of the podcast, I grew up watching these movies, so
that's fair. That's very fair.
We did. Madara had 68%.
We were close, guys.
Yes. Well, not that close.
I mean, not close. I mean, we did a lot better than I thought we would.
True. Yeah. True. I got shafted. The Joker got 77%. Yes. And then Brucey got 32%. So not
Brucey. You tried your hardest. Listen,
but having said that, I wanted to say a big thank you to everybody that voted, right? Mm-hmm. So in terms of final voting, bro, this is wild. We had over 7,000 votes for the winning one. Yep. So that's insane. We had 14,000 people see it and 7,000 people voted. So 50% of the people that saw it.
Vote?
Like what?
Just hit a button. Who looks and doesn't vote?
I know, but that's a testament to how awesome you guys are. So like both the listeners and my fellow co-hosts. Yeah, we're talking about. I said both. I
just want to be awesome.
We got something special. We got 7,000 people to share their love. So thank you very much, and we will continue going forward with that. So
okay.
I'm going last, unfortunately.
Cool. Thank you all for voting. Yes, very, very much. That's very, very nice of you. I am going to delve into my vote then, ladies and gentlemen. The greatest martial arts movie of all time. If we're talking... here's the thing. You can go back to Bruce Lee. Of course, he's obviously incredible. He fights Chuck Norris. He kills Chuck Norris. That's awesome. You can go into comedy buddy cop movies with Chris Rock and Jackie Chan, and you can have a ton of fun there. But if we're talking pure martial arts, unadulterated action, beautifully choreograted movies, this might lose me this week because there's no English version of it. Ip Man has got to be it. Ip Man with Donnie Yen if I'm not mistaken,
Yep.
is the most beautifully here's the thing, even if I do lose, first off, there's 4 of these movies, okay? There's 4 of these movies. So watch all 4. I'm choosing Ip Man 1 because apparently we're not doing a series, but Ip Man 1 is about a man who is in Japanese occupied China. And his family is starving. They can't even afford a bowl of rice. You know how cheap a bowl of rice is? That's how hungry they are. He has a beautiful wife, and he has to keep her hungry. He has to keep her fed, and he has to keep their child fed. But he can't do that with his job. But you know what he can do it with? His fists. And he does exactly that. He fights 9 men simultaneously for 9 bags of rice. And he walks home with those goddamn bags of rice. It is all about Wing Chun, which is a real martial arts taught primarily to women as a defensive mechanism. So this man uses a defensive, slept-on, kind of sleepy martial arts style, you would think, right? Until you realize the master of Wing Chun actually trained Bruce Lee. Huh. Weird how that works. And yes, so Ip Man, Donnie Yen, for 4 installments. And since I'm only talking Ip Man 1, I won't even talk about the fact that he fights Mike Tyson in Ip Man 3 and breaks his hand with his elbow. I won't talk about that. I want to talk about Mike Tyson butchering Chinese as funnily as butchering Chinese gets in Ip Man 3. No, just Ip Man 1. Incredible movie. Beautifully choreographed. Donnie Yen is the best to ever do it. Yes, I said that. Donnie Yen is top of the list. And that's what I'll leave you with, gents.
That is very interesting. Actually, there actually is a dub for it. There's a dub for it.
Is there? I refuse to watch that. You won't.
And,
you can't make me.
I'm glad you went with the one installment, because let's not lie to ourselves and act like Ip Man 2 was just a ripoff of Rocky.
No,
Rocky, what was it? Rocky 3? Rocky 4? That was like verbatim. Maybe not the beginning, but verbatim. The rest of the, I was like, yeah, this is
Doesn't he fight a
Rocky
boxer?
3.
He fights a boxer, right? He fights a boxer in the second one.
He fights a boxer.
Mm-hmm. The
All
third
the same
one,
story beats happen.
and the third one, he fights the military, or is that the fourth one? He fights the military.
There's actually a lot of Ip Man movies. Ever since that first one came out, there's just been a shit ton of Ip Man. There's one called The Legend of Ip Man, where he's like a young man when we see him become Ip Man. How he There's one like you're talking about. There's one where he's like an older man. Yeah. And funny enough, to tie this in with Shang-Chi, our wonderful bad guy we know as Win Wu, the actor, Tony, how you say Tony Lung? Tony Lung or Tony Lin?
Yeah, I think so.
He actually played Ip Man in one of those movies.
Yes, he did. I think he was the older version of Ip Man.
He played one of the older versions of him.
Yes.
And at that time, he never knew martial arts. He learned martial arts during that movie.
Wow, what a great movie.
Right.
Also, Ip Man's a real person. It's based off a real person telling you a real story.
That is true.
But does it lose its mind a little bit? Yes, absolutely. But so did Rocky. There's like 7 Rocky movies. Okay, so I cannot be held to this higher level of prejudice. But yes, incredible movie. Thank you for the background for the background information. Misu, that's very nice of you. I guess, ladies and gentlemen, he's not lying. He did grow up watching these movies. And since Mizu got second place with Madara, the floor is yours, sir.
So I'll give you that. Ip Man was actually one of my choices. It was one of my 4. I said that was a good one. However, Donnie Yen he's really good, but there's also another person who is kind of slept on a little bit. Not slept on, but he is the one that also do it. He's not the clown prince like Jackie Chan. He's not the legendary Bruce Lee, but this man is a Lee nonetheless, and that is Jet Li in the movie Fearless. So what is Fearless? Fearless is about a legendary real person who was known to be one of the best martial artists in all of China. So good, in fact, that he has never lost a fight in his life. Never.
Okay.
So good, in fact, that we see him in the movie fight different people from around the world. He fights an American who deals in both boxing and wrestling. He uses the combination. Mind you, both of those things together, realistically, is actually terrifying. He was pretty much doing mixed martial arts in the past. And we see Jet Li destroy this man. We see him fight all these other people. He was well-renowned across his town. so much so that some people were envious of him. And guess what
Okay.
happened? You know, when people get envious and want to take this man down the peg,
Come for the
they
throat.
kill his wife and child.
Why is it always the wife and
And
child,
guess
bro?
who does it? It's one of the servants in his whole entire chamber and compound.
Mhm.
But he loses his way. He goes cynical. He loses all what he naturally knew, and he goes to the countryside. He relearns how to be a well martial artist, because before he was, strict, kind of like Shang-Chi. He was all structure and fearsome.
Mhm.
And then later he learns how to be calm. You know how in the movie he opened his hand. He learned
he
nature.
uncurls the fingers. Got you.
And he learns from a blind woman that changes his life. But again, guess who shows up to be involved in it? Japan. Japan wants to get in this game of saying
Always
that, okay,
Japan,
this guy is the best. We're going to get this legendary Japanese martial artist to go fight him.
Mhm.
So they fight. But guess what? The man, because, Japan, and this one man who's all about, Western, he's obsessed with Western civilization and wants to be, there's one of the people in charge of it.
McCarthy economics worked.
Pretty much. And he was just like, no, I don't want him to lose. I'm putting a lot of bets on this guy. So before they even got the fight started, he poisons our man Jet Li.
Oh, he pulls a gladiator.
Yes, he poisons him. And he has to fight this man while poisoned. And he gives it all he got. One of the best scenes ever. He's fighting for his life while also fighting this man. And the coolest thing ever is that the Japanese martial artist himself was noticing that. And he was just like, wow, you are literally about to die, and you're still fighting me with all you got. And he's literally about to pass out. And before he could do anything, he's about to lose the fight. The Japanese martial artist picks him up, and the Japanese martial artist gives up the fight, making him dying undefeated throughout his life.
Oh, he dies?
He dies. And another thing that makes it so poetic is that he doesn't, it's not something he gets better. He dies at the end of the film.
God damn. I haven't seen this. I gotta look into this. This looks good.
It is amazing. To this day, it's one of his best films, one of the best martial arts films that Jet Li has ever done. And it was a staple for a while. And it even inspired another little kung fu movie that we all know for Americans, Kung Fu Panda.
Are you telling me Poe dies?
No. Talking about being fearless and also known as like a dragon.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Let's go, Poe.
I would say that film, Fearless by Jet Li, is definitely one of the best martial arts films ever made.
Hell yeah, dude. All right, cool. All right, Fearless and Ip Man. What do you have to beat that, Jose? Huh? Is it Bruce? Is it another shark? No, it's Leia.
Since Nick decided to pander last time, I'm gonna pander this time.
I swear to fuck if you say Kung Fu Panda.
No.
I was gonna square up.
This is thankfully, this is one of the first martial arts movies that I saw. I vividly remember the first time I saw it because I saw it after one of my family friends, when I was like, 8 years old, showed me a VHS release of the 1950s Godzilla. I saw these back to back. So I had a lot of he had a lot of VHS tapes that had lots of movies on them. Like sorry whoever used to regulate VHS tapes, but he had a lot of movies there.
Oh no! They're after us.
After finishing Godzilla, I had the pleasure of seeing a little movie from the 70s called Enter the Dragon.
Oh, okay.
I saw a little movie from the 70s called Enter the Dragon. And funnily enough, it was the beginning of my journey.
This is what you consider pandering?
Bro.
The movie from the 70s?
I mean,
Enter the Dragon is a very...
Enter the Dragon is probably, besides The Way of the Dragon, it is Bruce Lee's quintessential film, honestly. Like,
okay.
In terms of popular culture.
Okay.
Like the fight against Han and having him like just rag it up is literally like what you see
with the
when
claw
you think
marks on his hand. Yeah, that's a very iconic scene.
When you think of Bruce Lee, that's what you see. And funnily enough, I think that was the last movie that he made before he died.
Really?
or one of the last that was released at least. It borrows heavily from the James Bond franchise. So aesthetically, it's like it's got a mix of obviously the traditional martial arts tropes that Bruce Lee helped also elevate into like the new wave, right? Because you had earlier martial arts films, but he transcended all of that. He also he outshines his other co-stars. So you had Jim Kelly and John Saxon, which were big actors at the time.
Yes,
And
they were.
he
But they weren't Bruce
outshines.
Lee.
He outshines both of them, and like clearly, like the thing is, when you get those close-up shots of just like Bruce Lee just like squinting and just getting ready to fucking fight, I was like, so somebody's ending up on a stretcher, bro. And funnily enough, I had to check it because I knew something about it. In 2004, it was selected for preservation by the U.S. National Film Registry. It's at the Library of Congress for being culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant. So,
wait, we do that? That's a thing we do?
Yeah, that's a thing.
When a movie is like very quintessential in terms of culture, and like they put it in a museum, like, oh yeah, this is a gold standard for like if something happened to like us, this is what we would say. This is American cinema.
Oh yeah, and not only that,
That's
there's movies. I think well, there was a spacecraft that was sent into space, the famous gold disc, that had music, film, and other culturally important aspects of humankind. So like the reasoning was like, as soon as you send it out into the vast nothingness of space, if something is able to catch this or interpret the information that's on this golden disc, that's what humanity is represented by.
Did we send like a TV with that, like a VHS cart?
No. It was just the golden disc. It was just
assholes that we shot a disc into the sky and be like, aliens, figure it out. God, we're the fucking worst. That must have cost millions of dollars.
It's the Voyager message. That's what it's called. It's a phonograph record. That's what it is. Yeah.
And Enter the Dragon was on there?
No, but I'm saying that that's the level of like, so that's a parallel between like the registry and that, like it's meant to preserve culturally important cinema and just works of art in general. And I think this movie being in there is a testament to the fact that Bruce Lee changed not only martial arts, how martial arts is perceived. It inspired an entire generation to become involved in martial arts, even more so than the Karate Kid, which is another movie that people like often cite as being like the inspiration for people getting into martial arts. I think Bruce Lee did more, and also it's quite simply almost like perfect. Besides Enter the Way of the Dragon, which has obviously the iconic Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris fight, this movie I would say is even better. So I mean, Enter the Dragon's my pick. There's nothing else I can say.
I will say this, like it is the one film that like basically all the tournament arcs you see in a lot of movies and TV shows today, and even anime, all come from that movie. Other you go back before that, no one has done a tournament arc ever like they did.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty cool.
Kengan Ashura, like Hunter x Hunter's tournament arc, like all of those things, like pay homage to Way of the Dragon, or no, Enter the Dragon, Way of the Dragon, right?
So it's Enter the Dragon, The Way of the Dragon, and well, technically Return of the Dragon is like another way of saying one of the movies. But yeah, that's the one that that's the last one that Bruce Lee did. Was the way.
So
Enter the Dragon.
He still did some filming for the Game of Death.
Oh, okay.
The Game of Death, which is another one I was going to choose, but that one was also pretty good. But he still had some little appearances there, but of course, like at that time he died, and someone did like a stunt double for him.
I mean, bro, Bruce Lee. I'm watching a highlight clip of that fight, and I get goosebumps because it's just like the way that he just stands and like it's so subtle. It's so subtle, his movements. And I was actually gonna go with a Jackie Chan film, but I was like, bro, like Jackie Chan ruled the 80s, but this was the precursor to that, right? So like,
I'd say he ruled the 90s too.
Yeah, he had the Legend of the Drunken Master. Drunken Master 2 is one of his best film. Police Story is what I think it was his first big one. that like I think I saw in a documentary he actually did a stunt where he literally fell down like a couple flights of not stairs, just like in a freaking mall. In a mall, like if he did his own stunt. So if he would have fallen off of one of the chandeliers that he's using as like a set piece, he's literally plunging 40 feet to his death because there was no padding like that could stop a 40-foot fall on your ass. Like
no, well, so it's kind of funny. He was on like Ridiculousness or something dumb like that once. And he was like looking at these people doing parkour, and he was like, he was predicting how it was going to end. Every single time he was right. Every single time he was right. And I was like, this dude does not miss. So 3 different movies from 3 different generations with 3 different main leads. Oh my goodness. What a spread we got. So just to solidify it, we have Ip Man, we have Fearless, and we have Way of the Dragon.
No, Enter the Dragon.
Enter the Dragon. You guys can find that on Jose's Instagram in his stories. You want to give her a plug?
Yeah, it's going to be I'm Tropical Joe. I'll give a plug near the end of the podcast, but that is where you can find the stories where we will capture your vote and find the winner. And speaking of winners, all Marvel fans are winning at this point because we also have to talk about What If.
Okay.
What
Good.
If?
I like it. I give it a B+. B+ segue.
B+. I love it. So we had episode number 4 of the What If show, and holy hell, no pun intended, was it great? Was it amazing? Spectacular.
It was a lot of fun.
And especially very, very strange. Of course, we're talking about the Doctor Strange episode. I want to get your first impressions. I got a lot of opinions on this. Let me know what you guys thought of it.
Mizu, I'm actually going to cede the floor to you first. I don't know. I know I usually jump right on these things, but I think I need to collect my thoughts on this one, honestly.
I have a controversial thing to say.
No.
We love controversy.
I like this episode more than I actually like the Doctor Strange movie.
Oh,
that's fair.
Okay. I thought you were going to say more than you like the
that controversial.
Granted, I will say this. I will say that little asterisk to this is that it is animated. Sure, gotcha. You can make that argument. But at the same time, I felt like this felt more magic-like than the movie did.
Yes.
Granted, like they had their magical parts in it, but it just felt, what's the word? It felt too technical. It felt too technical. It felt too like, it didn't feel free. Like it wasn't like the endless possibilities that they could do, and it showed off the possibilities that they can do in the What If. Like granted, like I said, it is animated, but I'm not gonna lie, after what we've been seeing, especially after seeing Shang-Chi and all the stuff that they can pull off, it is possible. It is possible they can pull off these some of these magical feats. Yeah. And I just love the magic and like the mysticism was there. I love the what's it called? The Library of Cagliostro. I thought that was kind of cool. I love that they were building the world building on that. And and some people don't notice this, but like they said, the What If is going to introduce us to possible new characters that can possibly show up into future installments in new locations. This is a possible new location that maybe our main Doctor Strange might find. And shout out to what's his name? Oben, the dude who was the guardian,
the black guy.
Oh, the guardian.
Yeah, the black dude
of the Book of Cagliostro,
who was in charge of that. Some people theorize that he was actually Cagliostro because in the comic books, Cagliostro had 2 names. He had his real name Cagliostro, and he had his alias Oben. But yeah.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I could absolutely see that.
I think they want more softer version of him. Yep, I think they want a more softer version of him in this because I guess in the comics he's a little bit more like dark. But I thought that was kind of cool. But overall, I love this episode. I love how we saw Doctor Strange become dark, at least the dark Doctor Strange. That whole scene where he's absorbing these creatures. I just love how they did that. I thought that was cockroach. So cool. Yes. I love that. And then, first of all, another one I want to say is shout out to the Watcher a little bit. It kind of freaked me out that he
That
got
was
him.
sick.
I was like, he was talking like he was like going back and forth, and I'm like, wait, you can see him?
Yeah. Well, I guess like only Doctor Strange in his like ascended state could see him, right? Like
Well,
otherwise,
he did become powerful enough to destroy his own universe. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And so actually, I mean, I guess I do want to run off your point there, where I think yes, I think it did a much better job flushing out the magic that comes, and I'm sure as we continue on with Doctor Strange stories, we will see more like strange
Cool.
magic. But it definitely with what we have from Doctor Strange right now, it's more about opening the sling rings and teleporting essentially. But this was like establishing, what was it called? Her death was a like a
The
true
ancient one?
point or something.
Oh no,
What?
Christine.
Christine's
absolute
death.
point.
It's an absolute
point.
Mhm.
And like you can't adjust that, because without that he wouldn't have become he was
The Sorcerer Supreme.
So Sorcerer Supreme, which is already like, is he Sorcerer Supreme in the MCU?
Right now.
Because isn't Sorcerer Supreme like the strongest version of Doctor Strange?
Technically,
yes, but then again, Kevin Feige did confirm that he is Sorcerer Supreme, so it's not like he is the Sorcerer Supreme. There's not a thing that he has yet to.
he's the defender. He's the defender of the Eye of Agamotto, so he technically
Okay.
has to be the
Sorcerer
Supreme.
Okay, but I thought it was really cool, yeah, how they fleshed out the magic, and making him go into that loop, watching him like the split of his loss of sanity. But so he wiped the whole universe, right? Or is it just Earth?
Oh yeah, it was the entire universe. So, just to give you my opinions, as well, I think to go over Mizu's point, I think the Doctor Strange movie aesthetically had a lot to like it was very, in my opinion, influential in terms of visual aesthetics, and introducing the cosmic aspect of Marvel very early. I think Doctor Strange did that, but I would agree that this 30-minute episode adds so much depth and layers of context into Doctor Strange. Because even one of our friends, for our fellow TikTok friends, Jay Stoobs, she mentions that like Doctor Strange is pretty much an asshole in the first movie. Like he's literally everything that he does is based off, oh, I'm Doctor Strange, I can do it. Like I'm Stephen Strange, I can do whatever the fuck I want. Like even through his injury, it's not a point of reflection, it's a point of ego.
I'm
ego.
better than it.
Yeah. It's a question of ego. And this version of Doctor Strange is so dependent on his love for Christine that he's willing to sacrifice himself as a human being, as a sorcerer, and just like the fate of the universe itself in general, just to get a moment with her again. He torments himself nightly with the Eye of Agamotto, trying to go back and trying to reverse it. Like that Memento or style, like or Groundhog Day style
living
choice,
the same day over and
living
over
the
and
day
over
over and again. That just hit me really deep, because I was like, wow, how far are we willing to go to let
the ones we love?
Yeah, and then to let go of grief, which is also a theme that we covered in WandaVision. And I think this is probably, story-wise, right, the best episode. It goes gradually up in value, because for example, I would say that the Black Panther episode had a lot, right, in terms of the cosmic, because obviously it changed everything, because Thanos didn't go through Endgame, and then you had Ego, the Living Planet, recruiting his son, so that's like cosmically causes a lot. But we see one man without the Infinity Stones collapse an entire universe, recognize what's it called, a Nexus being. He sensed the Watcher before he got to Supreme Strange or whatever it's called, this version.
Well, I mean, like kind of while he was getting to Supreme Strange. Yeah,
but like he knew that some version of some entity was watching over him, right? And that was unheard of at this point by somebody else. So I love this episode. It's a much darker turn, right? In terms of the lore, the darkest of turns is going to happen at 2 a.m. 2 a.m. Eastern tonight because we're getting
okay,
Marvel
yeah.
Zombies.
So let's talk about it. Let's get into it. So wait, also, is the Watcher black? I don't.
This version, yes. It's
Okay.
I'll say
it's
the
Jeffrey Wright.
voice actor.
Love that. Love
The
that.
voice
for him.
actor is
It's
black.
Jeffrey Wright. He is I think he won an Emmy for his portrayal of Bernard in Westworld, but he's a great he's a great
love
actor.
him.
He's a great actor.
He's also
great
like
actor.
if I was gonna elect one person to be the Watcher, it would be him because I love his I love his stoicness. So that is what we are getting next week. We are getting Zombie Hunter Spider-Man, if I'm not mistaken.
And the Marvel Zombies. Yep.
So what are we looking at here? What does that mean for us?
Just from I don't know, Mizu. So Marvel Zombies, for context, is just a limited issue series from like 2005 or 2006, whatever.
Okay.
I remember seeing it at the comic book store once and being so scared of reading it that I did not.
You're like,
read
nope,
it.
I'm avoiding that like the plague.
I'm avoiding that. I'm avoiding that. So it did come out in 2006. Some people, from what I've heard, it was controversial. It was just like, what? Why the fuck do we even have this? But like the storyline is pretty cool. So at least from the teaser that we got from Marvel, basically at one point, what is it? It's I want to get the line from the trailer. So if I go to Marvel Studios Instagram, they put out a teaser of the What If show, right?
Yeah.
And it says he warned. Oh, okay, yeah. So once there was a narrow escape, right? In a narrow escape from Thanos, the Bifrost transported Bruce Banner home to Earth. So this is right at the beginning of Endgame.
Okay.
Or no, right at the beginning of Infinity War. This is right at the beginning of Infinity War. And then he's supposed to warn the Avengers of the incoming threat of the Mad Titan. And then the text is deleted. And it says the world that he returned to was never was unrecognizable. And apparently,
so is it an alternate Earth?
So I think what it's meant to say is that like by the time that the Bifrost sends Bruce Banner to Earth, there's a zombie outbreak.
Shit. And so all the Avengers are zombified, and Spider-Man's the only one left, right?
I believe so. Mizu, did you read the originals Marvel Zombies comic line?
A little bit. And the part I'm already confused at the gate with is Spider-Man being the zombie hunter. Because in the comics, he became a zombie.
Okay.
I don't know if they might still do that. Who knows? This episode might end like how it did when Doctor Strange can go dark. Who knows?
Yeah.
But in the comics, Spider-Man became a zombie. Like literally the vast majority of the vast majority of the Avengers and a lot of heroes that we knew became zombies, with the exception of, I think, was it Bucky, which I saw kind of in previous trailers that he didn't seem like he was a zombie either. Bucky, Black Panther,
is he gonna be Chadwick again?
Hawkeye. Well, I'm trying to think. Hawkeye, and there's like another person. There's like a handful of heroes left during the zombie outbreak.
Yeah.
Okay.
And eventually I think two of them do become zombies at the end of it. But like, yeah, there's not a lot of people around. But yeah, I'm wondering how they're gonna do this. And you say like Spider-Man's gonna be one of, like, I guess, the zombie hunters. So I wonder how that's gonna work. And with the whole thing you said with Chadwick, I looked it up and it said that Chadwick on his official filmography that he voices his character 4 times as in 4 different episodes. So we're gonna get him 3 more times after this. I don't know what episodes, but yeah, he's gonna be in it a little bit more.
You mean Doctor Strange or Spider-Man?
No, Chadwick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My bad.
Okay, also, guys, we missed something, and I'm just now realizing it. Why the fuck was Bruce Banner not Professor Hulk in the end scene of Shang-Chi?
That's another big thing that people. Oh, we didn't cover the end credit scenes. Oh shit! So we got
the end credit scenes weren't that, like, it was just them being like, "Hey, welcome to the Avengers," essentially. But like,
Xi Ling is like the ruler of the 10 rings now.
I was going to say, yeah, she's in charge of 10 rings. And then you also got the fact that I guess the 10 rings have some type of beacon in it. And they have no idea where this beacon is like who
Came
the beacon
from.
is sending it to and it's coming from. So that's interesting.
Do you think that's
Uh,
Secret Wars? You think that's a Secret Wars thing? Like it's Kree
I
technology? They'll try and do that.
I think it might have to do with Secret War. Some people are saying Secret War. Some people are saying possibly Eternals.
Hmm. That'd be cool.
Maybe that's one of the maybe the reasons why we don't. Well, I mean, we don't know. We don't know what
Okay.
that's supposed to mean, but we're gonna find out. I guess maybe
Okay. All I picked up
the
from it
10
was
rings
like,
are alien in nature.
yeah, yeah. All I picked up was like he's no longer big and green. I was like,
Yeah.
what's going on here? I was in
Maybe what I saw from like doing a lot of just like
Web
Reddit
sleuthing?
diving, web sleuthing. He is wearing a regulator on his arm, so maybe he now he's back to the Incredible Hulk days where he has to regulate like his heart rate or something like that.
Oh,
The other thing that people have been referencing is the fact that during Endgame, the Hulk and Banner had an agreement, right? They set aside their differences, but that could have been corrupted by the time that Hulk snapped to bring the population back.
yeah.
So like all that gamma radiation released from that may have like made the Hulk mad, I guess, for being exposed to that, and just like he starts hating Bruce again. So there's like the separation again.
Oh,
And
shit.
I mean they've been separated. They've separated, like they've shared a body. They've been split split together.
Asunder.
Yeah, split asunder multiple times in the comics. So like it makes like the Hulk is like a love hate with Bruce. So
Oh yeah.
I fully expect them to be like, yo, the Hulk just doesn't like you anymore, or like you have to fight with the Hulk. So I'm
Sorry,
like,
bro.
okay,
He's mad. Well, actually, speaking of splitting asunder, me and Mizu have a big episode of MHA to talk about, and this is probably one of my best segues because this video or this episode was all about our boy Twice. Okay, we got what is now, I can say definitively, go ahead. I can say definitively is the strongest quirk in the show. Twice now that he has, so essentially what happened was, so Twice is like he goes to Toga's side, and he's trying to help her because Toga wrapped him up when he was exposed essentially. Um, and he gets his arms broken, which makes him realize that he is the real guy because if his clones endure an X amount of damage, like shattered clones, they'll disappear, right? So did that make him sane again?
To a point. I mean, it put him a little bit together, but he's still a shattered mirror.
Yeah, he's still
He just they
intensely
put some
bipolar.
glue on the mirror a little bit,
Mhm.
but it's still broken.
So now he can infinitely clone himself, and his clones can make clones. And there's no limit to it of what we've seen. He made almost 100,000 of them, and he can make clones of people, and they have their quirk too. Has he always had that? Was I spacing that?
No, he's always had it because I mean, since you're watching Black Clover, he's kind of like what's his name?
Charmy,
Huh?
not Charmy. Ghosh.
Not Charmy. The dude with the sister obsession.
Ghosh.
Ghosh.
Yeah.
How
Sweet Home
when
Alabama.
he how he has his his glass eye, and when he activates it, it makes copies of
True
a person.
double.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
Okay.
similar to that in a way.
Shit. But that's the thing, like he can now do infinite clones, and if he has enough data about a person, he can make that person and their quirk. He made a the Krusty Lips. Why am I spacing his name? Shigaraki. He made a Shigaraki clone that was able to bang with Redestro. Like he could have made 6 of those. He made Dobby, he made everyone. Like that he could make an All Might if he knew enough about him.
Yep.
Like that's insane. That's absolutely like no. I feel like we aren't talking about enough. Like how hilariously broken that is.
The part that's so funny, and I won't say funny, but it's kind of alarming, you would say, is that it's so cool that we're seeing all these villains and we're seeing them getting their power-ups in a way. But it's also, you got to remember, like, they're the bad guys.
They're the
like,
bad guys.
Crap. They're the bad guys. And they're getting these power-ups.
Yep. But what's crazy is here I am rooting for them. Like here I am,
Yes.
like Toga murders 40 people, and I'm like, let's fucking go. Like I see like twice, like wraps himself up. He can now do infinite clones. Like I'm not thinking about the long term repercussions of like, oh, this is going to be a problem for the heroes, because that is going to be a problem for the heroes. The Meta Liberation Army is 110,000 people in one city. Also, Gigamanti or whatever his name is also on his way there to go fight Redestro, whose ability is what, partial expansion jutsu.
So I'm trying to remember. Is that his name? The long nose.
Redestro. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
Reed
yeah.
Destro. So here's the thing. Reed Destro's a quirk
Yeah.
is very interesting, and like I said it before, once you find out what it is, you'll be like, oh yeah, so relatable. I'm not gonna lie, if I was in the world, I would want his quirk because I would be amazing with his quirk.
Okay. So
And
it's
you're gonna
probably
find
like a
out
next episode thing. Okay.
possibly the
Mhm.
next episode thing, or it depends on how they stretch it out. If they stretch it out too
Okay.
long, it might be the following episode, but it should be coming around. We see
The pace is clicking though. The pace is going.
yes, it is.
Like we got Twice's backstory, which was devastatingly sad. Like he's just a guy who got in a bad situation and just it rolled until his personality split. Essentially, I mean, and if I'm being real, watching myself kill myself would also make me go probably insane. He's relatively like relatable if we're being real. And it was a really cool episode for them. And I think it's probably GG's on the League of Villains, right? Like no way, no way they pull. I mean, I not the League of Villains on the Meta Liberation Army. Like I never thought that they were gonna win. Obviously, the League of Villains are the big bad, but like at the end of the day, like I don't even know if a giant Mecha or whatever his name is, the big dude, is gonna even get there because Shigaraki is deleting entire buildings. I don't remember him having that scale either.
Oh
Like
yeah,
that's his power up.
and it gets progressively worse.
I could only imagine. So that's the thing. So now it's just they're doing such a good job of like making people who you wouldn't traditionally root for be the people who you are rooting for. Like, and it almost makes me sad because they're gonna lose. You know, it's hero's journey. But like it makes you sad because you're like, damn, I almost don't want them to. Like now I'm rooting for Twice and Toga. Do you think
Are
that's
they gonna
probably
lose?
I it's anime. The only
You
time
sure
I
about
can't.
that?
I'm trying to think of one time the villain has won an anime.
Well, I mean, it's anime. Here's the thing: anime is a little bit more, I'll say, diverse
Savage.
in savagery compared to the Western world. So,
Okay.
I mean, look at Devilman Crybaby. Have you ever seen that
Devilman
yet?
Crybaby is the definitive answer. Yep. God,
So I'm
the
just saying,
ending
like-
that's so fucked up.
So I'm just saying, who say they lost yet?
All right, so don't write off the League of Villains, is what you're telling me.
Oh, baby.
Oh, baby, indeed. All right, so since we're talking League of Villains, since we're talking MHA, where you at, homie?
I just finished another arc, baby.
Oh,
I
Gentle
am
Criminal?
I am officially, what is it? I am officially,
You should be on season 5.
wait for it. I am officially only 8 episodes away from season 5. So I will catch up to you guys.
Wait,
So you already seen the Gentle Criminal arc?
No, I saw the Shie Hasagai arc,
Yeah,
which was
that was
15
last
episodes.
Yes.
I saw the Remedial Course arc. So
Oh,
yeah,
Bakugo and Todoroki. Yes,
yeah,
yes.
I saw that, and now I'm going into the UA Festival arc.
All right, yep.
And the
Gentle
Pro Hero arc. Okay, yeah,
To me,
I
An
know that.
underrated villain that people talk too much shit about.
Too much
Gentle
shit on
Criminal.
Gentle Criminal. Too much shit on Gentle. I'm absolutely there with you. He was a good bad guy.
Okay.
He was interesting. He's new. He's refreshing.
Wait, let him get there. But
I haven't met him yet.
You're
I haven't
gonna
met
be
him
at
yet.
first
That's the thing.
lukewarm to him, but he's gonna grow on you.
Am I gonna be more lukewarm than I am with Bakugo still in season 4?
Or you're gonna love Gentle Criminal and his,
You're gonna
his
love
Gentle
backstory. I
Okay.
at least liked him.
Okay, bet,
He's good.
bet,
He's
bet.
good. A lot of people hated on him. They're like filler villain, but like I liked him a lot
But
personally.
here's the thing: it's not filler. It's actually a part of the manga. It
100%
actually
canon.
It's 100% canon. Everybody keeps saying, "Oh, this is a filler." See, at first it's gonna seem like filler because of the premise, but it is a canon part of the story.
Okay,
Yep.
bet. Love to
Yeah, and
see
the
it. Love to
pacing
see
and the
it.
pacing's good too. That's the thing. The people that go, they're stretching it out. No, pacing's totally fine. So you did watch the Remedial Course arc, so you spent a lot of time with Bakugo. I'm assuming your
Yeah.
opinions are the same.
not really changed that much. I mean,
Yeah.
I like him. I mean, I like him a little bit
you what?
more. I like him
You
a little
what
bit
now?
more. I like him a
Don't
little bit
switch up
more.
on me now.
I
But
noticed that you
still,
didn't call him Triple B yet.
he's not. He is
Oh.
still baby back bitch Bakugo. though.
Okay.
He is still. He is. The thing is, you have 4 seasons of BS that you're trying to erase in 3
hard to undo that.
episodes. Like I know. So I was surprised by Endeavor. Those 4 words. I'm proud of you. Kind of wild. That
You didn't get Prominence Burn is the last episode of season 4. Okay, no, you didn't get Prominence Burn yet.
No, but I was surprised. So it was after the arc, right? After they Shoto and what's it called, the Whirlwind guy did like the whole ice slide, the whole thing, which was fire. No pun intended with Endeavor, but but yeah, he actually goes to Shoto and says that, and I'm like, is the advice that All Might gave him, did it sink in super quickly? I'm like, what the fuck? So I like the fact that they're adding layers to characters that previously were just like annoying, right? Because Endeavor is just salty because he's not the #1 hero. He never got the chance to beat All Might. And then Bakugo is salty because everything around him is salty, according to him. So I really like this. I really like this transition, because I know this is just a transition arc while we get to the new one. Kind of got that figured out. Kind of got that figured out with MHA by this point.
That's always the worst.
Yeah. So I'm at the point where I'm starting the UA School Festival, which is it the same thing as the sports festival?
No. So it's like the sports festival was like, show how good you can throw this ball, or like show how good you can fight. This is like, you know, you don't watch a ton of anime, but like if you watch slice of life anime, it's like we have to make a cafe to like it's like the end of the year thing, or we have to do a performance, that kind of thing.
It's more fun than it is, you know,
it is
Olympic
a lot
level.
of fun.
Okay, bet.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I like that.
There's also a lot of good character building for side characters in it. It's great.
Oh, I love me some. I love me some side characters.
It is a good arc. Y'all need to chill out with this.
Chill out with the hate.
Me and Mizu just like working ourselves into a sweat over here over the Gentle Criminal arc. Just like, it's good. It's good. But yes, no, stoked for you. Stoked for you for making a little progress. Now you and me have something to talk about, and that is the new Witcher movie.
Also,
Tale of the Wolf, which was a nice little, guys. For those of you who don't know, listen, I may not bring the most Marvel knowledge to the table, or Star Wars novel knowledge to the table, but when it comes to The Witcher, that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is my
bread and
shit.
butter.
That is my exactly. I am good at it. I know how to play the games. I read the books, all of those kinds of things, and this was so much fun. Which is weird because first off, I think it was animated by people who did Castlevania, because it was fucking gory. Oh my goodness, that first scene where the nobleman just gets a root through the mouth.
Oh yeah,
like it opened up with that, and I was like, oh, okay, so this is what we're doing. It was, a lot of people are saying that the characters were kind of forgettable and that the plot wasn't that great, which I don't necessarily agree with, but I could be heavily biased. Vesemir looks like an absolute snack of a man. The fights were incredible. And seeing the Geralt Easter egg at the end was awesome. What did you think about it?
I loved it. So I felt like, obviously it's kind of like, I don't know how to put this, because like, for example, if we're going based on like Tolkien, right? If you go into the
I'm thinking something to Lord of the Rings.
No, but what I'm saying is that, like, for example, when you go into watching Peter Jackson's adaptation of the Lord of the Rings, like you're going from scratch, right? You like if you haven't read the books, in this case, I was kind of like, it's kind of weird because like I haven't read the books, but I did play the games. So like I have Geralt's story, and I did see the show as well. So like I have some context that I'm trying to like piece into this lore. So I'm like, okay, this is how the Witchers work from what I know, and then this is what they're trying to bring new, and they're trying to bring new Easter eggs and provide a different context to I pretty much assumed that it was a prequel from the beginning, because obviously like they wouldn't.
Well, it's Vesemir.
Yeah,
it's young Vesemir.
Yeah, they
Vesemir's
wouldn't.
old as shit.
Yeah. So like I assumed it was it was a prequel as soon as I saw his name pop up. I was like, okay, it makes sense. But the animation amazing. The voice acting was dope. The cast was
Yep.
dope. I liked Theo James as Vesemir. He did a great
Yeah.
job. Yeah.
Theo James is actually one of my favorite actors and definitely one of my favorite voice actors.
Oh, nice.
His character in Castlevania, the guy who makes the correct choice and simps over a vampire. Toto's spacing it now.
That's him?
That's him.
Really?
That's Theo James. Yeah.
No way.
The guy with the silver hair, the guy who makes all the vampires.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Theo James.
That's why he's awesome. He's awesome at that too. So yeah, I loved that. I was kind of lost a little bit with the relationship between what's her name? Starts with a G. Gilchrist. Tetra Gilchrist and the elf hybrid. I was kind of like a little bit lost. Like, was she trying to protect the elves? Was she just trying to like help destroy the Witchers? Was it just like a friend of a friend? Like the enemy of my enemy is my friend type of deal?
Yeah. So Witchers and witches kind of notoriously hate each other. So Tetra Gilchrist was actually the creator of the half. So she was like the creator of, well, she didn't create the half elf half, I think it was Mahir combo that was created by the Witchers, but she connected with it and used it in a ploy to destroy the Witchers.
Okay, bet that makes sense.
Yeah.
I liked that final battle, man. That final battle like had me sold. Like seeing all the Witchers like use all their power and then just get clapped at the end. Like,
got a lot of them. The thing is, I knew Kaer Morhen Falls. It's a large plot point in The Witcher. So I was like, they're all gonna fucking die. I was like, Vesemir like trained like 4 Witchers, and they're like the last dregs of the Witchers. But like watching how many Witchers there was sick, and B, like, yes, watching them all use their like wind ability, which is I know Igni is their fire. I totally spaced what their wind ability is right now. But use that and Vesemir leading the charge and just the battles themselves, it was very Castlevania-esque. It was great. And guys, even if you're not into The Witcher, lore-wise, it is a fun watch. It is a very, very fun watch. So I highly, highly recommend it, cracking into it if you got the chance.
Quick question though.
Yes.
I still haven't seen it yet, guys. For those who are watching.
Oh, fuck.
When you mentioned Vesemir's age, like, how far back is this? Because the Vesemir, because I played the Witcher games, but the Vesemir that I know is, old as shit. And I was just like, when I saw this young person, I was like, this is Vesemir? Like, the same guy? Like,
he's technically 70 years old in the
Vesemir
in the
is
show.
70 in the movie.
In the movie.
In the movie, yes.
But he looks like 25 or 30.
Okay.
Vesemir. So Vesemir is about like 600-ish years old, I think.
Okay.
In the games, Geralt's I think. No, because Garrett's only like 200 or 300. I don't know exactly. He was born in the 11th century. I know that. He was, because he was there in the early constructions of Kaer Morhen, which was built in the 11th century. I don't remember what century Witcher 3, which is the one that a lot of people talk about. I think that's 16th, 15th. I think Geralt's 300 to 400 years old. I think Vesemir's like 500 to 600. So this is hundreds of years ago. I mean, Witchers live a long time. That's what, mutagenic mages are there for. But yes, it was incredible. It was a lot of fun. Like I said, guys, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. And is that all we have this week?
We have a few other things. I mean, we had the announcement.
The Matrix.
Yes.
Speaking of old things.
Speaking of old things.
Yeah, The Matrix is coming back, but how?
True.
Here's the thing. In what capacity is The Matrix coming back? Are we getting a sequel, a prequel? What's happening?
It is a sequel. It is a continuation. It is Keanu Reeves is coming back officially.
Yes,
like we've seen a picture of him and he looks bomb as always. The I don't know if they're going to bring back Lawrence Fishburne God,
I hope so.
Dude,
Morbius.
Morpheus
My bad.
is the goat. Like Morpheus is.
Yeah. Wait, it's
But
Morpheus? It's not
yeah,
Morbius?
Morpheus. It's
Morpheus.
I
yeah.
have been putting a B in there my entire life.
Yeah, it's based off the god of sleep. So he's the Greek god of
It's
sleep.
not Morb?
Nope.
It's
It's
Morph?
Morpheus. In the hands of Morpheus, you go to sleep, basically.
Oh, you know what's so crazy? You got Morpheus,
Uh-huh.
in the
Yeah.
Matrix.
That's insane.
You got Mobius from Loki, and then you
Yep.
got Morbius is the vampire for the upcoming
Yeah,
movie
you're
for
right.
Sony.
Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why in my brain the wires. I think I've called him Morbius my whole life though. That's really embarrassing. Wow, everyone is probably laughing at me behind my back. So all we have is photos then, Jose, right?
Yeah, all we have is photos, and then the teaser ish trailer, which has the blue pills,
Uh-huh.
the blue and red pills, and it says that the trailer is coming on Thursday, so we're getting a full trailer this Thursday. I'm very excited. The stills that we got looked great, so I'm excited. The guy that plays the lead in Candyman is making an appearance. He's one of the main characters as well.
I was gonna
Shit.
say he's the main character. Yep. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's gonna be
So
really
Keanu's
cool.
not the main character anymore. He's a side character in the story.
I do not know.
I don't
Me
know.
personally.
I
Oh,
don't
okay.
know. I don't know. Like we still know very little. All we have is
Yeah.
stills and a teaser. Like the trailer will show us what we're expecting. But Keanu is returning. So like that's what people were like raging about. And there's a few
Raging?
like raving about, like very excited.
Gotcha.
Uh-huh. But we like from the trailers, like from the stills, there's this really peculiar image of the guy from I forgot his name, the guy from Candyman, right? Being
Y'all Abdul Mateen. I can't say his whole name.
let's call him Abdul Mateen, right? So he is being generated from dust. Like his body is being generated from dust, and I don't know.
Gotcha.
This has a very Dune / 1984 vibe to it. Like a machine is making him out of dust, which I think is like,
Okay.
are we getting 3D renderings of people from the Matrix now? Like it's
Mm.
actually pretty dope.
That's kind of dope.
They also gave us a picture of a box of pills, like a bottle of pills, addressed to Mr. Anderson, which is Keanu Reeves.
Obviously, yeah.
And it's called ontolofloxacin, which is a play on the study of life itself. I think, yeah. So that's what people are gathering from that, because it's not an anagram, it's a euphemism, I think, or like when you mix the prefix of a word with another word to create something else.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I know what you're talking about.
It's a literary device to kind of give us a play on the fact that the pills are meant to give us the definition of life, I guess. And then the last thing is the dude from Mindhunter, which also plays King George in the Hamilton play, going through the same transformation that Neo did in the beginning of Matrix 1. So that's pretty cool. Not sure.
So my thing is, do you think there's a need for this?
I think so.
I would say I can see both sides of it. I can see the people who want this, and I can also see the reason why some people don't. I can see both sides of this argument.
Because my thing is the first movie is incredible.
Yeah.
The second and the third are terrible.
Yeah.
Right? So we've already gotten 2 bad sequels to this movie. And that was early 2000s, almost 20 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So we've already gotten 2 bad sequels. The story is all but wrapped up in what was a terrible way to wrap up the movie. So are we do you think we retcon 2 and 3 to move forward here? Do you think they're trying to salvage what 2 and 3, like Matrix the Infinity, did to the storyline? Like, obviously it's a really cool like story that they're heading in the direction of, obviously. But my thing is just it doesn't feel necessary to me at all.
I think
Huh?
they're just bringing it back like with a hope of restarting it, I guess, or bringing, cuz like
Uh-huh.
the lore is amazing. The only thing is that like they made it super convoluted and very what's it called? Not who's the big intellectual, is was it Nietzsche? That was just like very morbid, just
You're talking, yeah, Nietzsche. Nietzsche
okay, yeah.
is
Yeah.
So it was just very morbid at the end. It was just like all life is gonna be lost because I'm gonna win, like being
Yeah.
the machines winning. So it just got very dark. Whereas the first movie was more of a study, a psychological study of who are we, what's our purpose in life, and then technology. What can technology bring us, like moving forward? And I think that movie specifically, the first one, was released at the perfect moment in time. The one thing about this is that is really cool is that it is Lana Wachowski who's directing this one. Like it's not somebody random. It's like one of the Wachowski siblings who created the whole thing. So I'm excited for this because it brings more depth to a lore that I think could be explored further, especially if we get an anime. Because you know if things
A,
do
a Matrix anime?
could you imagine? I mean, we did get
No.
teases of like an animated show. We did get video games, but we've seen renderings of like,
okay,
bro, the Matrix anime having Mr. Smith.
I
in
mean, it'd be
anime.
sick. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you.
Oh,
Absolutely amazing if they did it that way.
They could flesh
And I
out that
definitely,
convoluted ass plot. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
so go ahead.
yeah, and I definitely, like I said, I see both sides of the camp with this, and a part of me wants it to be kind of like a retcon sequel, but
Mhm.
there's a double-edged sword with that because you can end up like the Terminator, because some of those movies are they're supposed to be retcons, and
Oh
they
no.
end up making it worse. So
If you look at like the actual like storyline of like the movies that come out, you're like, this one is a direct sequel to this one, but this one is a prequel to this, and this one in the middle got retconned, and this one is it is it is convoluted at best. So
Very
yeah,
true.
yeah,
like I said, I stand in the like I'll probably see it. I just stand in the camp of why, just why.
yeah, I'm
Very true.
definitely in the same way. But you mentioned raging earlier, and there is something that people are raging about.
Oh gosh, is
Oh.
Tim
So,
Drake fully gay now?
huh?
Tim Drake's fully gay now. He's not bi anymore. Just only
No,
boys.
but it
Okay,
is
good.
something. It is something that's kind of
Not
low
good,
bar, but it is getting attention. So back then, Disney did a movie called The Rocketeer, and The Rocketeer
Yep.
is pretty much you could say era-based little hero of like you could say deco diesel punk. For those who don't know what that is, it's like steampunk, but with diesel, and instead of being more whimsical, it's more concrete and based around the world wars and all that stuff. It's actually pretty cool aesthetic and world building that they did. So this is a character called the Rocketeer, and it's basically like a very campy back in the early 40s kind of character that they made back in 1991. And it's a cult classic, actually. But in
Yeah.
terms of box office, it didn't do well enough for Disney to continue it on. And they actually were going to make it a whole trilogy similar to Indiana Jones. Heck, they even got some people who worked on Indiana Jones to work on these movies.
Okay.
But Disney didn't go with that, and they just kind of dropped it. However, they are bringing it back. But here's the problem that some people are unfortunately having. So they're bringing back the Rocketeer, and it's going to be a straight to Disney Plus movie.
Okay.
But it's going to be called
they
The
done one
Return
of
of the
those yet?
Rocketeer. Huh?
Have they done a straight to Disney Plus movie yet? Like one that doesn't come out to the theaters?
I don't think so.
No, I think this might be the kind of like the
Yeah.
first that
I
they
don't remember
do
hearing
this
anything
with.
about these. Yeah. Okay.
But so it's going to be called Return of the Rocketeer, and they're changing the main character, and he's basically the main character is passing it down to a retired Tuskegee airman who takes on the mantle of the Rocketeer.
That's
Now,
sick.
can you take a guess what people are upset about?
Well, if I'm guessing Tuskegee Airmen, the exclusively only black Air Force group, I'm assuming
In
the
Puerto
main
Rican,
character.
actually, too. I just learned that
Yes, sir.
yesterday.
Interesting. I did not know that. Yeah, the storied, I guess, Puerto Rican and black Air Force group. I'm assuming the MC has now gone from white to black, and people are upset about that.
Oh, absolutely.
Never change, people.
Nice.
Never change.
he answered $1 million question. Some people are already upset that they're doing that because the producers of it is David Aluwali. I don't know how to say his name.
Yeah.
And his wife. And it is said that he might star as the titular hero. I think the only problem I have is that I actually don't want him to do it. I want someone a little bit younger. Still keep him black. I still think that the retired Tuskegee Airman sounds amazing.
Always a great storyline. Yep.
Keep him get a younger actor a little bit. But besides that, yeah, people are up in arms. I already seen 5 YouTube videos of people saying that, Disney going down the woke agenda again.
The Rocketeer needs to be white. Only white people get rockets. What are we doing?
But I'll say this: out of the 4 videos I saw, only one of them, I'll say this, was straightforward. I don't like the fact he's black. The rest of them beat around the bush, trying to give you these garbage arguments. But
I'm not racist, but
pretty much
not my Rocketeer. Who gives a shit? It's not even the thing is he's passing it down, correct?
Yeah,
so it's not even.
Here's the thing: the character does still exist. The original, his name is Cliff.
Yeah,
I believe that's his real name. But he is passing it down to a retired Tuskegee Airman, and pretty much. So the original Rocketeer still around. And here's my argument: I would say it like this: y'all seen the Zorro films? Zorro throws his signature with the Z.
Z is for Zorro. Yep.
Yeah.
So Zorro originally was played by kind of a white man first, or I would say a Spaniard, European, and then he passed his mantle down to a Mexican, not Mexican American, a Mexican person from Mexico.
Yeah.
So he takes on the mantle of Zorro. So I looked at it like that, it's the same thing. The Rocketeer is pretty much the same thing. He's passing it down to somebody else to be the Rocketeer. And the part that's also funny is that it is kind of a cult classic. But let's be honest. Before I even said that, did y'all even know what that movie was?
Did you? That's my thing. If you're upset about something that you didn't know what it was or didn't care about what it was because either the MC is now black, a woman, anything or something like that, you care that Tim Drake was bi, okay, you didn't give a shit about Tim Drake until 3 seconds ago. You care that the Rocketeer is black, okay, you didn't give a shit about the Rocketeer. It's a movie from 1991 that you didn't know existed. If you care that the Rocketeer is now black, I hate to break it to you, but you're fucking racist. At the end of the day, let me straight to the point. Literally black and white. Literally black and white. If you care that a movie from 1991 is getting rebooted and going straight to Disney with a black character as who was once a white character, you are a fucking
movie
racist.
That, mind you, failed, by the way. So, and here's the thing: I was actually kind of proud of Disney because Disney's been on that train of trying to bring back already well-known movies and stamp them okay, we're gonna turn it into a live action and stuff like that. And a lot of people have been making the argument of how about you guys do that with your failed movies? All the movies series that you ever had, fix those. And this is one of them. They're okay, we're gonna finally do that. Rocketeer,
we're gonna restart it.
We're going to restart. We're gonna do something different with it. I was okay, this is different. I've seen the Rocketeer, but I vaguely remember it. I don't even know the main character's name.
Very vaguely, bro.
But I only liked it because I like the whole diesel deco punk thing because there's a lot of different punk genres that don't get talked about, and that's one that's pretty cool that only some will fall under that. You can technically say The Incredibles actually falls under that genre.
Yeah,
but
I'd say so.
The aesthetic and all that stuff. So I was interested in because of the aesthetic. That's the only reason I watched the film. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. And the reason I brought it up is because, again, it was just a movie that was coming up. And of course, some people are upset because, they're, blackwashing, as they say.
Oh, God forbid. Oh, goodness. No, not blackwashing. Whatever will we do with a black starfire? Oh, God. I'm gonna fall apart.
By the way.
My cousin wife, she's freaking out about this. Get over yourself. Who cares? Oh, no, black representation in media. You'll live. Well, Jose.
No, I was gonna say that if people are mad about that, there's a whole lot more coming.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Buckle up for phase 4, buddy. There's an Indian superhero.
An Indian Eternal.
Oh my God, I'm literally gonna fall apart. Oh, they're not gonna get my tickets anymore. Cool. That means everyone in the movie theater is gonna be wearing a mask.
And just like Shang-Chi, everybody thinks that movie's gonna flop as well.
Hey,
I'm
very
gonna
true.
fucking watch the shit out of it.
What I
I'm gonna watch it
realized
twice.
what I realized from looking at my notes, we still have a few more like pieces of news that we could cover.
Like what?
Speaking of the Matrix,
Cristiano Ronaldo went to a new team.
no. All
Yes,
movies,
the LA Galaxy.
yeah, not
Breaking
the LA
here
Galaxy, not the LA Galaxy, but the Kingsman is also releasing on this. We got a trailer for the Kingsman. Apparently, the villain is going to be Rasputin. So this is like the beginning
Yes.
of the
Saw
Kingsman.
that.
That's gonna be lit.
That trailer looked dope.
It's gonna release the same day as the Matrix, bro.
If they don't make a joke about how big his dick is, I'm walking out of the theater. I'm sorry. If we're like halfway through the movie and we haven't gotten a Rasputin had a horse cock joke, I'm leaving.
If we're speaking of big dicks, it's literally the studios because they're releasing it 5 days after Spider-Man. They're releasing 2 movies 5 days after No Way Home.
Oh no.
It's the 17th. It's the 17th for Spider-Man, and it's the 22nd for both Matrix and Kingsman. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
GG's. They're GG's. That's all I'm gonna say.
Bro.
This is the
That
third
is so
Kingsman's
stupid.
movie.
That is not smart.
That is not smart at all.
If you're
bro.
listening, whoever is releasing those movies, just don't.
Or delay them like a few weeks, like just
a
few weeks.
week. No one's gonna be like, oh no, Kingsman about World War I Kingsman got delayed. Like we'll all be okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say for the first time ever, I think it'll be a smart idea to delay this movie. Like
or bump it up.
Bump it up or delay.
Spider-Man.
One of the two.
Before Spider-Man, for sure. Definitely do that.
Don't try and run against what is going to be the largest cinematic event of the year. That's a bad idea usually. It's like, hey, don't release like in front of Titanic. You know?
Do you guys follow the Lucifer series, the DC?
My girlfriend
Lucifer
does.
series?
She loves it.
Telling
It's her
myself
guilty
I'm gonna
pleasure.
watch it, but I haven't watched it yet.
It is really good, and we're getting the final season in a couple days.
Oh, I gotta tell her that. She'll be stoked.
Yeah, a tale of a show that like lived, man. Like the show was picked up by Netflix at the perfect time when it was like they canceled it or like were planning on canceling it. Netflix picked it up super fast, and they got 2 more seasons. Like I was at season 3, and they got 2 more seasons. Once this one releases, I will be binging 4 and 5. So I'm very excited for that. The last thing, and possibly the biggest piece of news, other than Marvel, and a possibly bigger release, Dune is coming out next month, guys.
Yeah, I know.
Actually,
Yeah,
I think it's this month. No way. No way it's this month.
I
think it is this month
September?
because the critic
October,
reviews already came out.
October 22nd. October 22nd.
Okay, October 22nd.
Damn, so critics got
the-
early.
They got to it early, right?
Yeah, there's already the critic Rotten Tomatoes reviews already in.
Damn it. People say it's divisive. Sad.
I think
Sad.
it should be.
Here's the thing.
Dune
They
is
still
very
say it's
divisive.
good. They still say it's good. Like I saw there's like 83%, but they are just like there are some parts that are just like they could have done better, but it's not. It is a lot better than its predecessors of Dune.
Yeah.
But it's not like, oh yeah, Dune's gonna be the next Game of Thrones kind of level stuff yet.
You know what's weird to me is like most people haven't read Dune. Like Dune is like your uncle's favorite book. You know, like your stoner uncle's favorite book. It's just it is world building on extreme difficulty. It is word soup. Like every third word. I've read the first 3 books, and it is every third.
You got through the first one?
There's 6.
Hey man, this is a
6
whole
books
salute to you.
All written. Okay, first off, there's 6 technically canon books written by the guy before he died, and then there's like 12 more written by his son.
Fuck that.
Like by the 3rd book, by God King Dune, every 3rd word is made up, and if you don't remember them, you're like, what the fuck am I even reading anymore? So listen,
it has an appendix, right? It has an appendix.
Oh yeah.
What the fuck?
Oh yeah. It's like
here's the
6
thing.
books.
I'll say this. I'm a person who loves world building. One of my go-to things that I watch something is how you do your world building. I love dense world building. I love One Piece. I love Game of Thrones. But Dune is something else.
It makes One Piece
still can't figure that shit out.
Yeah. It makes One Piece look like a magical treehouse.
For real.
It does. I'm gonna say. It's fucking thick. So like compiling that into a movie is going to be very difficult, and that's why everyone's like, I'm so excited. I was like, you fucking shouldn't be. You probably shouldn't be.
A train wreck. I'm surprised it did that well, honestly.
Yeah, like they got an incredible cast,
The
so
thing
that's
is,
gonna be great.
it looks
but
amazing.
It does.
The visuals look glorious. So I was like, bro, is this gonna be like the next cinematic awakening, or like everybody? Oh my god, the diamond in the rough, and it just like blows everybody away.
Here's the thing. Dune has been huge since the '60s when it came out. There's a reason a movie is just coming out now, is what I'm going to say.
Okay.
All right. Like, there's a reason we waited 65. I mean, yes, there is other old movies that they tried, but like, there's a reason people don't just try this on their weekends because it's word soup and it's hard to do. So Timothy Chalamet and Zendaya's pretty faces might save it, but let's say I'm going in with meager hopes.
Fair.
And I know, here's the thing, and I won't get confused because I know the lore. So that's it. Shit, you guys are in God's hands. But I think that's all we got, right? I was gonna say, ladies and gentlemen, it's gentlemen and gentlemen.
We didn't we get news about another live action adaptation
Outside of Cowboy?
outside of Cowboy Bebop?
I haven't heard anything about it.
I'm trying to think. I don't think they're.
Because I read somewhere there was like plans of doing something or like a live adaptation of something, and I was like, there's nothing comes to mind right now.
No, I haven't heard anything.
I can't think of anything either.
Oh, we got
Cool.
yeah. I mean, I was just gonna say, what are you guys most excited for this week? Let's end it on that.
MHA.
MHA, really?
And probably until the season ends, MHA.
Okay, bet.
No, Boruto. I lied. Fucking Boruto. Boruto's so fucking good right now. Boruto is like Shippuden level good right now. Like Pain arc level good. Boruto is
made for that one.
No. Here's the thing. The tides are turning for Boruto. Listen, everyone is acknowledging Boruto. We were talking about what things to cover. It's a little behind the scenes. When we first got into it, we are like, oh no, like we could talk Boruto, and none of us were caught up. So I said, fuck it, and I caught up with Boruto, and Boruto is really good right now. Like, so good. So yes, Boruto, and then MHA,
Okay.
and then Tokyo Revengers,
And then Tokyo Revengers. Okay.
and then whatever the fuck else is coming out.
Yes.
Fair.
I'll definitely say on Tokyo Revengers, the What If zombie episode, I wanted to see how they're going to do it because I never really thought that this was ever going to happen. I thought it was going to be like in the door, like, we're never going to be bold enough to do this. But that's, and yeah, MHA.
Also,
Okay,
Rip Baji. That's what I'm going to say. That's my closing statement. Rip Baji.
Fair.
He was the first commandment, first division commander. Baji, rest in peace. I love you. Okay, that's all I got, ladies and gentlemen. I have been Nick C Comedy on TikTok, NCHammer23 on Twitch and YouTube, putting out more videos there, getting into more vloggy stuff. That's right. I have time on my hands, ladies and gentlemen, so you're gonna get to see a lot more of my face. Jose, what's going on with you, buddy?
Time is a resource that I still don't have, but I wanted to take the time to offer a big congratulations to our main man, Nick, for hitting 20,000 big 20K followers on Twitch.
Good at what I do.
Well, yeah, I agree, man. That's a huge accomplishment.
Thank you.
We've seen
That's
you
awesome.
through. Also, a big props to all three of it. We're almost at 25 episodes, man.
I think this is not.
This is 24. This is 24, I think.
2 more makes half a year.
Bro.
26 is half of 52.
Holy shit. Bro, we're about to go. Dude, I like this. Hey.
6 months.
Patreon starting soon. Wink, wink. Question
It's
mark.
not a bad idea.
It's actually a pretty good idea. So, hey, you
Actually,
heard it
very
here
good
first. Heard it here first.
Yeah.
I was going to say your boy is Tropical Joe. TikTok doesn't like me, but you can find me there. I'm Tropical Joe, as well as the platform that likes me, or that you guys like us, Instagram. That's where I will be putting the stories where you can vote for which are the best not superhero movies, the best martial arts movies. We got
They're superheroes in
Fearless.
their own right.
We got Ip Man, and then we have Enter the Freaking Dragon. So the podcast will probably come up tomorrow, just like our What If episode will come out, and you can find it there. I'm Tropical Joe, and then the Tropical Joe for my Twitter. Big news just for me on my end. I will be going back to streaming on YouTube. I have made a big decision based on
flip-flopping harder than Obito over here.
I know. I took some time to think about it and just had for the first time I've had an audience that like actually responds to what I ask, and the overwhelming majority of people on my Instagram and my TikTok said they would prefer to see me on YouTube, and I was like, maybe I'll give it a shot again. So hey,
All right. Tell Tim the Tatman I say hi.
we're trying it until it sticks. So that is me. But last, but certainly not least, our man Mizu, coming off a tough week. Give us something to smile about, baby.
All right, so you can catch me on Mizu Shogun on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, like Jose, I plan on dedicating some time to like reinventing my YouTube. I'm putting some money and a lot of stuff like cameras and all that kind of stuff to get a YouTube channel started. And I'm going to talk about all kinds of things, you know, with anime, explain certain things. Especially one of the things I'm going to be start talking about is like the intense, in-depth lore there is to like Black Panther, Shang-Chi, and all that jazz. So if you guys want to see that kind of stuff, it is still in the works. It's not going to be around the corner. It's not going to be like right there, but it is a work in progress. Mm-hmm. And I've been more active on my Instagram as well. So definitely see me there as well.
Perfect. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for checking in for another week of the Weeb Weekly. We have loved having you here, and we're going to go ahead and kick it to the outro.